Hello everyone, my name is Vlad Wulf and welcome to the part 2 of the Blockchain Developer Essentials. In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to make an AJAX request to the web server so that we can update our informations on the screen without reloading the page and without losing all the information we have already put there. So this is a very important step in order to make a decentralized application, because ultimately the user will click buttons on your website and those buttons will need to update what the user actually sees without reloading the page. And sometimes it can even be used to get information from the blockchain directly thanks to our web server. So let's get started. So the first thing we are going to do is to make our index HTML beta. So we don't need that. Let's create a h1 and with the class of actually with an ID of response. This h1 will receive a response from the server. So for the moment we'll write something like no response and we'll close the tag. Okay, now we need a button. We don't need to have a tag nor name. Get the contact the web server. Okay, now we have that. We can actually reload the page. Cool. So now if we go to the localhost 3000, we have that no response and a button that does nothing. So we are going to use AJAX. AJAX is a technology that allows you to contact your web server without reloading the page, because every time you want to change something on your page, you need to reload that so the page can update with new information. And this is very heavy and you will lose the information that was already there, right? So the way to do it is to use an AJAX request. The AJAX request can be a bit complicated at first sight, but I will show you that it's very easy. So you just type AJAX on Google and go to W3 schools and just we'll take that example of AJAX. You don't need to understand what all that does actually. We'll just include it in the index HTML. So let's make it bigger. Okay, we'll put it in a script. Remember, all JavaScripts need to be put in the script tag on your client. So yeah, we paste it there. Adjust the indentation. Cool. We instantiate a request, then this is pretty straightforward. That means that when the request is received and everything is okay, we have received a 200 status, then we can update the element. And we can update the element of not demo, because here it's ID response. We'll just put response. That means that the response that we will get from the server, and it will be a string, we put that in the response element. Okay, now we'll call the function differently, contact server, something like that, and we will provide a onClick method. Click here. That means that when we will click the button, this function needs to be called. So contact server, right? So we can try it now. If we refresh the page, oops, it's a bit big, right? And if we click on the button, you see that localhost 3000 AJAX info.txt not found. And the reason why it's happening is because when we are doing our AJAX request, when we are contacting the web server without reloading the page, we do it on ajax.info.txt. We want that file. Let's create a route. App.get. You'll see it will all make sense. So let's call it AJAX request. Okay. And that means that if the user contacts our web server with the route AJAX request, we can have some response sent to him. So let's send some response. And the response, let's just send a string. Hey, I am the AJAX response, right? So we need to reload the web server because we have modified the logic. So now if we reload the page and if we click on the button, yeah, I have forgotten to actually change it on the front end side. So we need to do AJAX.request, and when we will press the button, the AJAX request will be done to that route. The route will process the request and it will send that string. And when that string will be sent, we'll put that string, this response text, to inside the h1 element, which is here null response. So let's try it. Contact the web server. AJAX request, AJAX info. Oh, I forgot to save it. In Atom, by the way, this is very annoying in Atom. I'm very used to IDEs or text editors that save your file directly when I just unfocus the file. So you can activate that option, which is very handy, by going into packages. You need to go in auto save and enabled, right? So now when I unfocus, look at that button, it is saved. Let's press the button. Hey, I am the AJAX response. You've just learned how to make a AJAX function, and we can even send a JSON object. So let's do it. Var test first name Vlad, second name Wulf. Okay, so we have declared a JavaScript object here, but we can't send the object because the protocols only allows for string. So what we will do is to stringify that. So JavaScript has a very neat functions that allow you to do that. So it's called JSON with capitals dot stringify. Let's actually reload the server so we can see what it looks like. You see, you've got that, but it's all a string. So what we want is to actually isolate just the Vlad and the Wulf. Since we receive a string, we need to parse it back, right? We need to parse it back to an object. So we'll do it that way. var object is equal to JSON parse this dot response text, and now we can just do object. Actually, it is a bad name, you'll be confused. So object dot first name plus second name, and we need to actually put a space between all of those. So yeah, so basically what we are actually doing here is that we are sending an object, because most of the time we won't simply send a string, right? A string is very limited. We can send a very big object with a lot of parameters from the blockchain or something like that, or based on the model, and we can just pass it to in a stringified form, and then just parse it back here and do whatever we want with that. So this is a fairly basic AJAX function, but we can make something more complex. And all we need to do now is to reload our page. And Vlad Wulf, we have the response. So we can go to network, and if I click on the contact the web server, you see that we have a AJAX request. So it's a cached request. So every time I do the request, we contact the web server, but we are not reloading the page, right? So this is what AJAX is used for. You have learned how to contact your your server without reloading your front-end page. And this is great because in the next lesson we are going to set up a blockchain, and we are going to create the function that will allow you to get the information from the blockchain from your web server. From that file we will be able to contact the blockchain and pass the information that we get to our front end, to our user-friendly page. So thank you for listening, and don't forget to subscribe to my Facebook, to my Twitter, and if you want to make a donation, feel free. I won't protest. You can use my PayPal in the description, or you can use my Ether account. Thank you, and see you in the next video.